We are CFA, California Faculty Association, and we are the union that represents all of Unit 3 members. And that is librarians, coaches, counselors, and all people who teach. Okay? So whether you currently have the status of lecturer or there are other people who have status of tenure track, our contract is the same for everybody. Your rights and our responsibility to you are the same. And one of my goals is to encourage you, if you are not yet a member, to join. And I need to let you know that the fees that you pay to be a member are a function of how many courses you teach. So it's a function that you don't pay. If you are not full-time, you don't pay that rate. If you teach one course, if you teach two courses, if you teach three courses, it varies. And you're going to say, well, I only teach one course. Why should I be a member? The reason to be a member is that there are all kinds of wonderful benefits. I was listening in on some of the other people talking about some of the benefits. And so I would say one of the first ones is, as a member of CFA, you get a $1,000 life insurance policy free. I know you don't want to use it, nor do I want you to use it, but it is something, and it starts from there. We give workshops for lecturers. As you teach here longer and longer, and you are more involved with things on campus, as your entitlement may grow, we are concerned with protecting your entitlement, and we are concerned with helping you become full-time employed if that is your goal. Also, if an issue arises or you have a question, we are the people to talk to. Sometimes you misunderstand, or somebody else misunderstands, and it's always good to know there is somebody on the other side that you can talk to confidentially about anything that's happening that's troubling you, in terms of class size, in terms of when you're allowed to teach or what courses you're offered, how do you get preference for work, how do you ensure that you keep working at whatever rate it is you want to work at. Also, there is something called range elevation. And so as you have worked for us, or as you do work for us over time, and you teach more and more courses or the same course again and again over time, does your salary change? And of course your salary changes. But the thing is, your salary doesn't change until you have a certain eligibility, so many units taught. And also, you have to request it. And so there is an eligibility list. You may get a notification that you're eligible, but you may have no idea how to do that. And you say, oh, I don't know, whatever. And maybe nobody else you know knows how to do it. And so that's why we exist, to help you to answer those questions. There are things you're entitled to, and we want to make sure you get them. Some people will say, I don't know, let other people do that. And what I will tell you is, when you go like this, other people, these other fingers are pointing at you. And as we move into this year, bargaining hasn't started officially yet, but the contract we are currently working under will expire as of June 30th of 2021, which is just around the corner. One semester's already started, the other one will click in. And so as we move into bargaining, the stronger we are, the more members we have, because that's always the pushback. Oh, well, you don't really represent everybody. People don't have to belong to your union. You don't represent everybody's voice. I will tell you, if you're a union member, we listen to your voice. And when things come up, when they throw things towards us, we have votes across the union. So all paid members get to vote and say, oh, I think in bargaining we should be talking about this, or we should be talking about that. And so for that reason, membership is important to get what we want. I would suggest in the age of COVID, which is here, and I don't know how long it'll be here, it is very important to consider your rights and what people can ask you to do, or attempt to demand that you do as part of your work. And these are things that are negotiated by your union with the CSU administration. So I think it is perhaps even more timely that you join or continue your membership right now. Also, health and safety is one of our primary concerns right now. We have the bargaining, but of course, health and safety. We do not want any of you to go into a work environment that is not sanitary. I mean, I hate to say sanitary because, we think, well, campus never look dirty and filthy, but we don't know who has germs. We don't know who has personal protective devices, who will supply them to us. How will the classrooms be maintained so that we don't have the occasion or the occurrence? If you watch the news, you say, oh my God, USC, hot point. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, hotbed of COVID. These things are happening across the country, and our first concern is our members. So with that, I'm going to turn you over to Leslie Bryant.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share screen, hopefully. One second here. Yes, that's the right one. Did everyone see that? You guys see that?
Oh.
Okay, good. So I am your lecturer rep on the campus, San Bernardino campus and Palm Desert. We can't forget about our sister campus. I don't know if any of you are calling in or zooming in from there. I'm also the AVP of lecturers for all of CFA, and I represent the southern campuses. And my colleague, Megan O'Donnell, she represents the northern campuses. So I've been doing this for a while. Oh, I'm at the front of my document. I've been doing this for a while. And so I'm going to not repeat things that Nena has said. In this letter, we will send out to you. I'm not going to repeat things Nena said, but I want to point out some other stuff. So you're going to be getting an appointment letter, and sometimes they look slightly different based on the college you're in, but they all cover the same information. And what you want to look for on that letter is that it says how many units you're teaching. It'll have your base salary, your monthly salary, but you do want to read that letter before you sign it. And if there's anything on it that you're questioning and you're not sure of, please contact the CFA office and I can help explain it to you. I have a link there. So a lot of these links are going to the same website, which I'm going to show you in a minute. That's our CalFAC website. So in each thing that I'm telling you about, I do have a link. I don't know how to make this wider. I do have a link that will take you directly to that website. So you should look over your appointment letter. And if you don't understand it, you can go to the website for the lecture handbook, or you can contact me. Evaluations. We do get evaluated. Lecturers get evaluated for their work just like Tenure Line does. And these evaluations should be in a way that helps you become a better faculty member, not to penalize you. So one of the things I want you to hunt out, so to say, in your department is departments have sometimes a criteria about what they're looking for in their faculty members in their departments. And then someone should be contacting you to go over this with you. And if they don't, you can reach out to your chair to find out what is the specific things that they're going to be looking for when you get evaluated. That evaluation will include well, when I say come to your class, where are we all? We're in a virtual format, but someone will come visit you in your Zoom, and then they'll meet with you ahead of time. You'll decide on a day that they can come. For example, you don't want them to come on a day that you're giving a test because no one's doing anything. We can see. And then you meet again afterwards to go over the report, what they write up. If you're not in agreement with what's written in that report, you can write a rebuttal. You have a short period of time to do so. And we can read that. After you write it, we can read that for you and help you out. So if anything goes wrong with an evaluation, please contact the CFA office right away. On the website, which I'll go to in a minute, we have a lecturer's handbook. And if we were face-to-face, I would give you that handbook. They're all in our office, but we can't do that right now. But we do also have an electronic version of this handbook that's on the website, which I'm going to show to you in a minute. And what it does, Nena mentioned that we have this whole unit, which is counselors, coaches, librarians, all faculty. I think I'm skipping someone. And our contract covers all of those folks in that unit, but the lecturer's handbook only covers what's pertinent to lecturers. So we have a coach's handbook, a librarian handbook, and then we have the lecturer's handbook as well. Nena talked to you about membership, but I want to reiterate that membership for lecturers is very important. Our union, if you look at all unions across the state, our union has the best representation for lecturers, the best benefits for lecturers, because we're not singled out as a separate entity, that we get the same thing that Tenure Line have. So we don't want to ride on the backs of our Tenure Line faculty. We want to support ourselves And that will be stepping up with our own voice, and that voice and that power comes through membership. So Nena mentioned if you only have one class, that is still valid to become a member. So I encourage you, all lecturers should be members. Lecturers teach the majority of the classes on any campus. Lecturers teach most of the classes. If we all were members, we would burn this place down. I mean, not burn. We'd really make a ruckus out there, I'm sorry, with anything that might be harming lecturers. And so I encourage you yourself to join. Once you're in your departments and you meet other lecturers, ask them, are they a member? And if they're not, say, hey, I just became a member and you should be a member with me. That's very important for lecturers to do. In the past, about maybe 6 years, CFA has taken a journey for anti-racism and social justice transformation. Actually, we started years ago with the Council for Affirmative Action, which is one of our entities within the union, but we took a stronger stance to stand up for anti-racism and social justice within the CSU. We're trying to set the example for ourselves. So everything we do, all the work that we do goes through the lens of anti-racism, social justice, and we're trying to set the example for the CSU and encourage them also to take the same stance that we do. In these times, and Nena mentioned it briefly, in these times of what we're going through right now with injustices on and off our campus, it's very important that we as a union, as a body that represents faculty and our students, we have a student equivalent called SQE, Students for Quality Education, that we protect our students, that we protect our faculty and anyone that is going through any kind of social injustices or anti-racism on your campus. If you are, please reach out to us right away. Even if you think, oh, it's just this little thing, I really shouldn't say anything about it. But if you have 20 people not saying anything about the little thing, then it becomes a big thing. So don't be afraid to reach out to us. Everything is confidential, right? And if I don't have the resources to help you, I have colleagues that can help you. As a matter of fact, one of them is going to speak to you in a moment. But don't hold on to anything that you think may be harming you in any relationship to racism or social injustices. And we also have worked very hard. I am on the statewide team that we have been meeting all summer, ever since the COVID shutdowns happened. Instantly, we all came together to work on things like your classrooms, or if you're Zooming, do you have the equipment? So if you are lacking in a laptop or Wi-Fi, for example, I'm waiting right now to get a hotspot because my Wi-Fi is acting up. You should not have to be spending your own money to do this, that the CSU will help you with that. So you should reach out to the Blackboard folks or the IT people. If you need help to do your work, is the main point. If you need help to do your work virtually, then you should reach out for help. If you're in a situation, there's not a lot of classes on campus, but there's some that are special classes that have to meet. And if you're in a situation that you feel unsafe, please let us know and we can work around that or work to find out a better way for that working situation to happen. We are updating our website continuously with new information. I always tell folks, as soon as the chancellor says something or the governor says something related to the pandemic, we all meet and figure out how is that going to affect faculty? How is that going to affect our students? And then we put the information out on our website for you to view. We also have communication. So every week we took a little bit of a summer hiatus, but every Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, we have CFA headlines that come out. If you're a member, they come to you automatically, but you can sign up for them at this website. And anything that is important, pertinent to you as faculty that happened within that week or 2 weeks will be in the CFA headlines. Anything that's coming up, for example, we just did a wonderful webinar in May, I think it was, for unemployment. How can lecturers apply for unemployment during the times that you're off contract? And so we had about 300 people that showed up for that. And then all that information is now on our website, and it also went out in our headlines. So that's something that you can look for to keep up with what's going on with CFA. I have our main email address here. So if you need to reach the office, it's cfa@csusb.edu, very easy. Any email that goes there, our office manager will sort it out, so to say, to send it to who needs to get it. Or you can email me directly, very easily, lbryan@csusb.edu, or you can email me, I should have put that other one, at lbryan@calfac.org. And maybe Becca, I know Becca's there, put in the chat for me, because that is my CalFac email. If you are emailing me and you're concerned about privacy issues, email me from a non-CSU email to my CalFact email, and only you and I will see that. Right? So email me from a non-CSU email to my CalFact email, and Becca will put it in the chat. And then that communications is private. So I'm gonna stop this share, hopefully, if I do this right, to take you to the website really fast. I tell you, I went from not knowing how to do any of this stuff to all of a sudden, I hope this is the right one. But I'll just put it there. So our website is, it's calfact.org. Okay, here we go. So here's our website, calfact.org. So this top bar here will take you where you want to start out. We have a link for the actual contract. And so if you want to just see what is in there, it's a huge file, but all the articles is what we call them are in there if you'd like to look at the contract. But what I really would like to show you is where you can get lecture information. So there's a link called groups. And if you go down to councils, because it's called the lecturer council, and come over here, and you will go to the lecturer homepage. So this is where you can get all the information. Oh my goodness, who is that person? This is where you get all the information for pertaining to lectures. And I'm not going to talk about every single one, but a couple. So here's the lecturer handbook. I'm not going to click because I don't trust getting back to where I want to go, but this is the digital copy for the lecture handbook. So in your copious free time, you can just read that as your bedtime reading so that you know what's going on for lectures. But we also have 3 supplemental guides. One is for unemployment, one is for preference for work, which means what is the pecking order, so to say, in getting your classes, and one is for pensions and benefit. It may be kind of early for you to think about pensions and benefit, but we do have the information there, and we also do offer workshops, our version of the workshops, as well as what the CSU will provide for you. So that's an important link to go to. You have me as your lecturer up here, but if you're on another campus as well, some lecturers are on more than one CSU campus, you can go here, find your campus lecture rep to find the rep on your own campus, because each campus has its own lecture rep. Some campuses have a sister campus, like we have Palm Desert, and usually that person is representing both. I want to show you also, if you go to groups, we also have a lot of caucuses. And so basically every entity, Infinity Group, I believe is what they call them, you have a caucus that represents you. So if you're feeling like me as an African-American, I want to meet with other African-American faculty of all the campuses, then there's a group for you. You know, we have an LGBTQI caucus, basically every grouping that you would be interested, we do have a caucus that meets, and we meet twice a year in a big assembly, but there's also monthly calls. You can also reach out to their leaders for each of these groups. We take all suggestions, all types of work that people want to help us in this work. So if you're interested in any of those, please check them out. One that I'd like to show you, and then I finish with that, is our other council, Council for Racial and Social Justice. And so when I was telling you that we now have a lens through our work for anti-racism and social justice, it's the Council for Racial and Social Justice that leads this work. And so I'm going to let you look through all of that, but one of the things I wanted to show you are the guiding principles that we have. And so these principles, and I'm not going to read them, but these principles guide all of the work that we do in the union. So everything that we do for students, for faculty, for librarians, for counselors, for coaches, we run it through these principles to make sure that we are on point with any issues that may be affecting them. And I'm proud to say that our union right now, other unions are turning to us as to how are we doing this. When we first started, it was not a popular thing years ago for us to be doing this work. And now other unions are looking to us, how are you getting this done? You know, we're training other folks how they can bring this work back to their own union. And that's something that I'm very proud of. So last thing I want to show you, and actually I'll just go there and then my colleague will finish, but I'm sure that Griffin will show you, is how you can be a member. And so that is the link right there where you can join CFA. I'm not going to click on it because I'm sure Griffin will show you how to go through that. But I do encourage all of you to be a member. Do that quickly because we're going to have an opportunity drawing, I guess you could say that, an opportunity drawing for gift cards, because normally we would be feeding you guys, right? Even the CSU feeds you when you come, but we can't feed you right now. We can't send food to your house. So we're doing a drawing, opportunity drawing for Rosa Maria's, which is, once you're used to our campus, is just down the road a little bit on the other side of the freeway. And a lot of faculty go there after work for, you know, that happy hour. But we decided to use them for this drawing instead of Amazon or something like that, because we want to support small business. So anyone who is currently a member or becomes a member by the end of the day today, their name will be entered into this drawing, and then we will contact you. We have more than one, right? So it's not just one person. And we will contact you, and you can go have a lovely lunch or dinner at a restaurant that we really want to support because it's part of our community. So I'm going to stop there and then pass it over to Griffin.
Hello, I'm Griffin. I am one of the CFA staffers in Southern California. It's nice to see you all. I think that I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty expeditiously, so I'm just going to share my screen and walk you guys through the process of becoming a member. Unless, Vivian, are we going to have time for a poll, or is that?
Yes, we can.
Yes, it'll be fun.
Okay, well then let's do the poll. Let's go ahead with that. This will be fun. That should pop up in the chat. Is that right, Viviana? There we go.
In the chat. Mm-hmm.
Everybody could fill that out. That would be great.
Last time we negotiated a new contract, what was the university?
This is their first question is about their opening offer for a pay raise. So the first thing that they passed across the table at us. Second question is about how many courses lecturers usually have to teach in a semester before they're eligible for health insurance. CalPERS is for health insurance. Third question is about teaching on multiple campuses in the CSU system and counting that towards health insurance eligibility. Fourth question is about the number of represented faculty in the CSU system. How many of those people are lecturers? This says members of CFA, but I think it's better to say represented faculty. I screwed that up. And then the fifth question is about where CFA's funding comes from. And there's one clear joke answer in that, but I won't tell you what it is.
And do the results then come up in chat?
Let's find out.
I'll give everybody another minute or so, just to
Okay.
probably another 40 seconds just to finish answering. Then I'll end the polling and I'll share the results on the screen.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Thanks, Parker.
Is there extra credit question?
No, I'm not that good of a teacher. I'm just a staffer. You all are the actual skilled workers here. All right. Well, it looks like in the first question, the bulk of you were pessimistic enough, which is good. So question number one, this is in 2016. So quite a ways after the end of the last recession, the university was still trying to give us 0% raises, which is not great. I think, considering that we're at the start of a recession here, I expect something similar this time around. Of course, that time we fought back super hard and ended up getting what, a 7% raise, 8% raise, something that outstripped inflation pretty far. So
That was our
good.
fight for 5.
Yeah, fight for 5. Number two, how many courses do lecturers usually have to teach in a semester before they're eligible for CalPERS? The answer is 2. You guys all knocked that out of the park pretty much, so that's good. You guys know your health insurance pretty well. You also know that you can count courses at multiple CSU campuses towards CalPERS eligibility, which is really good because I'm sure a lot of you are teaching on multiple CSU campuses. It's sort of the life of a lecturer. Of the 30,000 represented faculty of CFA, the number of this is actually 16,000. It's not 21,000 CFA represented faculty or lecturers, 16,000, but still a majority, right? I mean, the lecturers really are sort of the third estate of CFA. And then only, it looks like only, I would assume only one person thought that CFA's funding comes from the Cal State system. The rest of you got that it comes from members, right? CFA is an independent labor union. It's only funded by members. And that is why it is so important to become a member, because if you don't become a member, then the union withers and our ability to win stuff like we won in 2016 goes away. So I'm going to share my screen and walk through the process of becoming a member. And like I think Becca said, this process is quite simple and has gotten simpler. So I'm gonna log in with my fake name, my real email address. And then if everybody wants to follow along with me, the link should be in the chat. So you can become a member and get your Rosa Maria's voucher at the same time that I am becoming a member and not getting my Rosa Maria's voucher. So the only required fields on this card right now are the last 4 digits of your SSN and the campus that you teach on. And so it takes less than a minute to sign up. And then once you have signed up, you just click finish and, you know, presto changeo, the union is that much stronger. We're that much more likely to get a raise this year, to improve our health insurance, to have more control over our work lives. So, so I hope that is enough to convince you all to join. CFA is the way that lecturers in the CSU system have historically won material benefits. And so if you want to stand up for yourself, if you want to ensure that you get treated well at work and that the university acts in an equitable and socially just way, then you should join CFA. And if you don't want those things, then you shouldn't. Basically, that's the line.
And I just wanted to add one little thing to tell you guys. We have meetings on campus. I will have lecture meetings throughout the term. So this is the first semester version of it. So I have to see where it is. But I do have meetings throughout the term. The invitation and the flyer will come from our CFA office, because faculty sometimes can't send to all folks on the campuses. But look out for that. So, for example, we'll have one about closer to the end of the term, how you can get unemployment over the winter break, or next term over the summer. About range elevation. And so whatever's pertinent to the lectures in that term, I will have a meeting about it and invite you all to come. Right now, it'll probably all be virtual, but it's a good way to get the information to you. And the other thing is, if you are interested beyond being a member, right? Some of you may have come from an environment where you worked with another union, or you did and were involved with things on your campus. So yes, we want members, but we also want people to help us do the work. People come to me with a lot of things many times, and when I find people are complaining about the same thing, or something's happening to us, some issue is happening to more than one person, I try to get them together so that they can help me help them. There's only a few of us doing this work on our campus, and we can't do it all by ourselves. So if you're interested in helping us do any of this work, or even if you're interested and you don't know what the work is, you can reach out to the CFA office and I will call you and we will sit down and see what you can do. The more of us that do this work together, the better all our working and teaching conditions are.